in the doctrine of the Trinity, but on the doctrine of modalism, which we know that they're believing that God the Father is God the Son is God the Holy Spirit, and so much more on that. My question is, because this a lot of people are believing on this kind of heretical doctrine of modalism, do this determines that even though that they believe that they have the speaking of tongues of the Holy Spirit, are they still not saved because they do not believe on the
Well,
doctrine of the
first of all,
Trinity?
their idea of the gift of tongues is wrong. I'll explain that later. Their idea of the signs and wonders as gifts are wrong. And again, I'll show that later. And definitely, their anti-Trinitarianism is heretical.
Mhm.
And it's one thing to misunderstand the Trinity while confessing the Trinity. And your church probably has plenty of people like that. Maybe even the one occupying the pulpit may have some misunderstanding of the Trinity. And we understand that because the Trinity is uh, ultimately incomprehensible except what God has revealed. But modalism is a militant denial of the Trinity, and that's something else. So if you militantly deny the Trinitarian nature of God, then that's heretical, and heresy, by definition, is a damning doctrine.
So it means, Pastor, that uh, a lot of Pentecostals right now in those Pentecostal churches that are believing that they have the gifts of the Holy Spirit, it means that they are not truly saved because they do not believe on the doctrine of the Trinity.
But they are
Is
not
that
truly
correct?
saved because they do not have Christ.
Okay.
And if they possess, or if they profess Christ, it's the wrong Christ. So it's not that they have the gifts of the Spirit. I will challenge even the claim that they have the gifts of the Spirit, but just for the sake of argument, even granting without admitting that they have the gifts of the Spirit, that does not prove them to be of Christ, because we have in Hebrews 6 people who have tasted the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So one can have the gifts of the Holy Spirit and yet not be truly saved.
Thank you, Pastor.
Okay, other questions? Yes, Mon.
Pastor, there are Christians, even pastors, who are in even in Reformed camp, who's still continualists. Uh, in which particular view they are mistaken or they are wrong?
We will have several lectures on the controversy between continuationists and cessationists. And I will show where uh, there is there are mistaken premises of the continuationist position, but it's not the time now uh, to expound those errors. We'll have several lectures on the continuationist versus cessationist debate. At least for our lectures, I hope you are continuationists, continue attending. So you can reach the lecture on the controversy between continuationists and the cessationists. Other questions? Let's take a break.